Today is Sunday, February 19th, 2023. Welcome to the Survivor Fans Podcast. I'm Joanne.
And I'm Stacy.
And this is our JABBIC Part 1 for Survivor 44.
It begins again.
Yes, it does.
A podcast that started way back in February of 2005 returns once again to cover another season of Survivor with all the super fans that we love to have join in. And so at the beginning of a season, we have what we call our JABBIC process. It's our acronym, means judge a book by its cover.
Because that's about all we got.
Yes, we really and truly know nothing about them, but we do read the bios.
But we try to pretend we do anyway.
We read the bios. We stare at their picture.
And go, I don't like how they're looking at me with those eyes.
Or look at all those good smiles this time.
Oh, yeah, I like their smile.
Yeah, everybody's got a good smile this time. And last time that wasn't the case.
No, it was not.
I just noticed that as I was looking at the wonderful roster that Paul
I hadn't noticed that either.
Put together for us. Yeah, well, we've been doing analysis. And what else do we use to help put this together? The Paramount Press Express site.
They've got a few little video clips.
There's a video clip for everyone this time, which is something they didn't do last time, which that's cool to see. Yeah. So you can get a little blurb with each person talking. And then there's the Mike Bloom interviews over at Parade.
Yeah. Those were very helpful
Those are the most extensive, at least in that amount of content
that we've seen. I haven't really looked for anything else.
Both Parade and EW have the classic Survivor bios up. I didn't even bother to go to the CBS website to look since they never updated the roster last season. So I found everything I needed on Parade this time.
I thought I read something that said they weren't even going to use that site anymore, just the Paramount site.
Okay.
Because that's where Press Express is that would Paramount.
Help explain why they never updated the content for the whole season last season.
That would for this season, but they didn't say anything last season.
Yeah, then there's a few sort of group videos that where Dalton Ross pitched simple or funny questions to them. You know, what unique word are you going to try to work into the season, or why are you going to win? And that's on video at EW.com. So I'll include links in the show notes for all those. So you get a little more flavor of each person talking. And it was interesting to note that Franny's were a little different. Hers were the only ones that weren't outside. All the other people had outside interviews, and a couple of those videos at EW.com, hers was in a room somewhere, so I'm wondering if she was like an alternate that got pulled in.
Don't know.
Yeah.
Didn't see anything about it.
But here's our overall process. We go through the tribes. We use Paul's visual roster as our guide.
I used it for everything, even to set up the season.
Okay. And so we're going to use that as our guide. We'll be going tribe by tribe, and then we'll be following the order in the roster. Is there anything you want to say before we get going, jump in? Just
that I'm going to read a little snippets of each person's bio. Not a lot. There's a lot more out there if you want to go read the full thing. But I just put little snippets here and there just to give a little bit of information about them.
It's an audiobook shortened version of their bio that Joanne provides.
That popped out for me.
And then we'll talk about each person. We'll say whether or not we think they'll make the merge. This is our process, and then we'll wrap up we'll share our guess at Final Four. It was quite the struggle. And then who we think is going to win, which in our fantasy league we refer to as the Ultimate Survivor, for the Ultimate Survivor bonus, that is.
Or USB.
You ready?
I am ready. First up, we've got the Ratu tribe, the Orange tribe.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Cottom, 30 years old, Newtown, Pennsylvania, and they say he is a security specialist, but he says account manager.
Yeah,
So
well, it says in his, I think it says in his bio, or no, that's right. He says account manager, and it's actual physical security. I was thinking it was like cybersecurity stuff, and he was like selling cybersecurity software or services, but no, he said it's a family-owned security business, and it's physical security.
Oh, okay. He says he's easygoing, ambitious, and confident. He's never even been camping, so surviving in the elements will be an exciting challenge. He played in the NFL for 5 years. He said being self-aware and aware of his surroundings will help him in the game, and he'll use meat shields because he figures he's going to be a target. He needs meat shields.
Yeah, he likes Jeremy's strategy, so no surprise there. We get lots of Jeremy references.
Yes, we did this season. He says he wants to align with someone that he can communicate well with and someone who is predictable, so he'll know how to read them, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Anything else there?
No, not as far as bio.
I liked that he focused on positivity, and he said that's going to be a big thing for him while he's out there, and that can be so huge.
Yes, and
to keep you on track. Really
good, used to working with a team in giving good support and encouraging people and that kind of thing. So I really liked him, and he seems very physically strong. So definitely, I think he'll make the merge. And I thought it was possible he could go deep if he gets in a good alliance, but I don't think they'll let him get close enough to win.
Yeah, because they're two people that are tall, and they're both on this tribe. And I was looking at some of his NFL information, and it listed him as 6'2".
Well, Matt's tall too, but he's real thin. Those guys look like football players.
Yeah, back when he was playing, Brandon's stats had him at 6'2" and 263.
Goodness. Well, I wouldn't want to go up against him.
Obviously, your initial impression is for the physical components, and there's lots of physicality in these early challenges. Mm-hmm. It's not what wins it necessarily, but it can give you an edge.
Because there's puzzles, too.
Yeah. The puzzle finish is the big equalizer. But, yeah, he seems like he could, if he delivers on the positivity and he's not, a super bossy or anything, and since he hasn't been camping, he's probably not going to have that vibe. He's going to be looking to someone else.
He said he likes to have fun, and so he just seems like a nice guy.
Yeah, good vibes.
So, I had good vibes.
He watched Survivor watches with his dad. That's how he got interested in the show. Yeah, I got him as merged too. Just the pure physicality and the size and all that.
I don't know how you pass that up, and especially if he's a nice guy too. And
yeah, he'd have to be super caustic to make a quick exit, you would think, or super bossy.
Somebody to be lifting all that heavy stuff and building shelters and.
Yeah.
Well,
they're going to need someone to know how to build a shelter, so we'll see.
True.
Yeah.
Hopefully somebody studied that.
Are we good with Brandon?
Yep, I'm good with Brandon.
Moving on.
Jamie, she's 35 years old from Mesa, Arizona. She's a yogi, but she says she's a marketing consultant as well.
That was the majority of her career. I think the yoga thing is a recent spin-off for her.
Well, I think she said she was in corporate America for like 10 years. Mm-hmm. And that she spent over a decade navigating different personalities and building winning teams in corporate America, which prepared her for Survivor, she thinks. But I think now I don't think she's in that line of work now. I think she's just working as a consultant.
I'll take a page out of Cody's book from last season. His thing was salespeople, of which he was one, are very dangerous. And I would say marketing people are equally as dangerous and have skills with regards to manipulating people and understand how to do those kinds of things. So she potentially brings quite the amount of the dark arts with her into this endeavor.
Well, I really liked that she's a lifelong fan and that her family never missed an episode. So I always love to see the fans get an opportunity to play. She said relationship building is everything, and that she's looking for a ride or die partner who's going to be loyal. But she said he's different from me, so that tells me she must be looking for a guy. He needs to be strategic, super smart, and competitive. And then she wants 2 more people she wants somebody that is a beast at challenges and somebody that's sneaky for bringing in information so that the 4 of them can run the game. So, but I don't see that as a bad strategy. She wants to make a personal relationship with every single player, and she thinks that's what's going to get her to the win. And I thought that's a perfect strategy. For
checking the boxes right there.
Yeah, she does check the boxes. I don't know how physically fit she is. She said she's very good at strategizing. She's very bubbly and energetic. But how is she at challenges? I don't know yet. So.
Maybe she'll be good at puzzles. I think they need a puzzle person.
Yeah, probably. Okay, I think her strategy is very sound.
Yes.
If she can make it work. So.
And she can do math. 4 is the majority in a 6-person tribe.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's very positive.
She's actually the only one that talked about an alliance of 4. Everybody else just talked about one
loyal person. They kept emphasizing loyalty and honesty. And I thought, wow, I don't know that
really?
You know what this game is.
Well, basically, but what a lot of them said was, I want them to be loyal to me and not take me out before I take them out.
Yeah.
So she says she will definitely search for advantages, and even if it says beware, she don't care. She came to play hard.
Well, there's a new twist coming in that direction that'll be interesting to see how they handle.
Okay. Well, I put her merge. I don't know. Part of me kept thinking, but the physicality, I don't know. But I just thought she's gonna get in with somebody. I think enough to keep her there. And I already have 3 people on that tribe making no merge.
Oh, interesting.
So. Yeah. I couldn't put her too, so.
Oh, okay. But by default, she became merge?
Well, no, I thought about her not making the merge because I thought, well, would she get bossy? Is she going to do anything like that? But I kind of think maybe she won't, and she'll get an alliance.
There's a risk with coming in with a plan, like you've got a fixed plan, and that's how it needs to be. You really need to be able to roll with things and adapt. But I like her plan. I think it's a solid plan. I think that she's in the sweet spot for winners statistically in the age range. And there's a lot of potential with her. That's how I'm looking at it right now. Without anything else to go on, I see a lot of promise here.
And she can do the whole yoga with everyone and, lead them on the beach to do the yoga, whoever wants to. And, that's another way to socialize and get to know everyone.
Yes.
But we know from Natalie White, which people still believe she didn't deserve her win.
Right.
But she had that nailed to a T.
I hear a person that seems to understand that in the end it's a social game. This is the message I'm picking up on from Jamie. She's got a good approach, a good view of the game and what's significant and what the right investment in time is. So I'm pro Jamie for sure right now. So I got her merge.
Okay. Anything else?
Nope. Next up, we got Kane. He's 25 and he's from Canada. Dun dun dun. And a recent law student graduate, soon to be a lawyer, he says.
He said, I'm inclusive, loud, and competitive. He's also big.
Yes, he looks like he could be the same height as Brandon. If he's not, he's just
very close.
A tidge shorter. Yeah.
He's a gamer. He wants to align with someone who thinks like he does. He won't look for idols right away, he said. I like that he watched Survivor with his family and that it kept him and his brother connected,
Mm-hmm.
even after they, left home. He said now he watches with his girlfriend and his friends, and he's considered the expert on Survivor.
Okay.
So I like this about him. He had his girlfriend watch him for a month or so before he left, and she was supposed to watch him for any tells that he might have.
Yeah, he said
But
he practiced lying, right?
yeah, and for her to catch him in any tells, and she didn't find any. So I like that he put that much thought and planning into it.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's just the fun aspect of it.
Yeah.
But I liked him much better after reading his parade interview, and I'm really interested to see who he will really be out there. Because at first I kind of thought, oh, he comes across as a little bit arrogant or something, and I wasn't sure I liked him. But then when I read the interview, I thought, I do kind of like him.
Yeah,
So,
I think my first impression of him was tainted by Daniel from season 41, no, 42. And
yeah, and I said, who?
yeah.
You said the attorney on. I went, oh, yeah, okay.
But yeah, the more I read, and what we've learned in the new seasons here is you do not sleep on the Canadians. They will sneak in there and win.
Absolutely.
So here's our Canadian for this season. So that alone makes him a threat based on the little bit of information that we got. And I like that he said he was looking for the good vibe tribe and that he enjoyed playing D&D, and that means he's probably got a good creative imagination, and he can
obviously
have fun.
he's intelligent, and that's why I thought I kind of thought Brandon, Kane, and Jamie could be drawn a little bit, because I think they'll recognize her intelligence and maybe want to work with her to and like Brandon said, he needs somebody to show him how to do things around camp, and maybe Kane can do that. I don't know how much he knows either, but they're both huge, so they're going to be able to haul trees and whatever.
Yep, and be that significant component, hopefully, ideally, in challenges. So you got Brandon talking about positivity, Jamie wanting to build that 2+2 for the controlling 4, and Kane looking for the good vibe tribe. Yeah,
I think
this could add
Kane
up.
could be her sneaky. Definitely Brandon and Kane can be her physical.
The muscle, yeah, potentially. We'll see.
So, that kind of covers quite a bit.
So I got Kane making the merge. How about you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Anything else you want to say?
I think that's going to make them very strong.
They do look like the physically dominant tribe. We'll talk a little more about that when we get to Soka, and then the lack thereof when we get to Tika.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ratu for me is
But you never know for sure.
Yeah. Certainly standing out is because of the big guys.
Yeah. Okay, up next, Lauren, 31, from Texas. She's an elementary school teacher. She wants an alliance partner that can gain her trust by showing her that they can be trusted with their votes and by sharing valuable information. So she had specific things she wanted them to prove themselves to her by.
It's kind of common things, though.
Yeah, but still, at least she was thinking she didn't want to just trust them without that. Anyway, she's a single mother with a couple boys. She's recently divorced. She's on a self-growth journey to see what she's made of. She's not a super fan, but binged. The thing that concerned me is she loved Shan's gameplay.
Yeah, there's several references to Shan in this group, and the whole blurry ethics approach that Shan took made me that was just like cause for question when I saw that reference. Yeah. And several people in this season made that reference.
She plans to take risks in every aspect of the game. She's eager to get advantages. I just kind of felt like I'm afraid she might overplay with the risks, and if her divorce really was recent, she may still have a lot of issues to work on.
That could be challenging,
and even though I think she talked about being physically fit and the things that
She was a
did.
power lifter previously.
Yeah. And so I wanted to say merge because of that, but I don't know. The other things just kind of, and being away from her children, and I just kind of thought, I'm not sure she'll make the merge. Though the others, she may be one of the ones they want to pull in for her strength. But the other thing is in the videos, I noticed when we looked at some others that she was doing better with being inclusive, but she almost seemed to be pulled within herself a little bit in the beginning, but I guess that's not a big surprise for someone just meeting a lot of new people.
On paper, she's got mom on vacation vibes. I don't know how that's going to, if that's an escape, an adventure, given everything that's going on, the challenges that she consistently faces.
Well, it was I'm on a self-growth journey that made me a little concerned about the commitment to playing, but we'll see.
Early on, I think she'll be strong, and I do think she'll make the merge.
Okay, well, we differ for the first time, but not the last, surely. Ready to move on to Maddie?
Okay.
She's 28, was born in Maryland, but she's living in Brooklyn now. She's a charity projects manager, is how they list her, but she says she was an executive assistant to a CEO.
Yeah, that's kind of a big difference.
Yeah, and she quit to play Survivor.
Yes. So my immediate first note was impulsive.
She says she's an admitted adventure addict, and she's super competitive. She wanted to play for 21 years, and she's only 28. So for an alliance partner, she wants someone practical, open-minded, and not self-serious. Must be fun, she said. I love living in the gray area where anything could happen at any moment. So she's gonna coast on chaos and have fun doing it.
Yeah, this worried me a lot about her. I think she's going to take unnecessary risk and wreck her game. That's my initial impression of her.
Well, she said having a 26-day game really pushes people to focus less on strategy and more on their skills and instincts, which she said was really great for her. And
she hadn't seen Jessie play last season when she went out.
She said she'll work with anybody, and that she will not tell when she finds an idol or an advantage.
That was a plus. That was the only positive in the plus category thing I got off her.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
A lot of people say they won't, and then they do, so hopefully she won't. But I'm looking for people who don't tell.
Yes.
But she likes girl power, so whatever that will mean in the game. She had also said that, she wants to play a middle-of-the-road game and that nobody's going to see her game. But everything she said doesn't make me feel that.
No.
At all.
Nope.
I was like, I didn't get that from listening to you talk.
Complete contrast there. Nothing lines up. It doesn't. The balance sheet doesn't balance with her.
Well, I put her no merge, but
also put her no merge. I figured she's reckless.
I could see her and Matthew, which is the next person we're going to talk about, aligning. They give me a similar vibe.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And so, you got anything more
No,
to say?
I also have her no merge.
All right.
So
okay, for Matthew, he's 43, from Ohio. He's a barbershop owner. He has a husband and a son. He says he's spontaneous, caring, and adventurous, and a super fan. You have to be able to trust someone in this game, but you also want someone who has different talents than yourself to fill the other's weak spots. He loves the outdoors and has wanted to play Soul Survivor for a long time. He wants to have fun every day like Maddie does. And he sounds good, but I'm still going to say no merge because we saw him climbing the rocks and falling. And
Captain Knucklehead. This is
Yeah.
the vibe I'm getting off of him.
I think if it were me and he were doing stuff like that could hurt him
Right out of
and
the gate.
therefore hurt the team,
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, okay, number one, out of here.
You can see why he said he identified with Elaine, who described herself as a busted can of biscuits. That's perfect for him. When I read that, I was like, oh, yeah, I get that. Totally get it. I don't think he makes the merge.
Yeah, me neither.
It's
so we're hitting some of the same ones.
Yeah, although you've got this tribe losing 3 times, so 3 eliminations. I've only got them losing twice.
Yeah, and yet I know I registered that when I'm going, oh yeah, this strong tribe, da da da.
We'll talk about why that may be, though. There's certainly more to come.
Maddie's tiny too. She's very small.
And it's magnified even more
And Matthew's
with
reckless.
Brandon
so
and Kane.
that could sabotage them too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's just
I remember
what
when we
went
saw that in the preview, and you can see this on the Paramount Press Express site. They've got that season 44 preview where the one that they showed at the end of last season where he's climbing up on those rocks. And I thought, oh, that's those rocks Cody was on, I think. Is he going to jump off and do a can opener?
I don't think it
No,
was
he just
what
falls
he was on.
because he's not good at climbing wet rocks. Which,
I don't think Cody's was as straight up as that one. But,
yeah.
But,
Anyway,
yeah.
Like I said, Captain
There was nowhere to
Knucklehead
go
vibe.
with that. It's
And
too
then-
steep.
There's another weird moment too, where this kept throwing me. I thought there were 2 guys with beards like that on the tribe, and Jam Jam's got a similar beard, I guess. But there's a point where the medical event happens that they show in the preview, and he sounds like he's got an Australian accent out of the blue, and I thought that was a different person.
When he was talking about if this doesn't
There's nothing.
bond
Yeah,
us.
I can't do an Australian accent, but yeah, he does some kind of accent when he said this. If this doesn't bond us, I don't know what will. It was
I
weird.
only know good day.
Yeah. Anyway, he's doing some kind of weird accent when he
Okay.
says that, and I literally thought it was someone else until I
we
realized
did. We kept looking for somebody
who's
else.
the other
and
guy
there
with
wasn't
the
anybody.
accent. Yeah.
Like, it has to be Matthew.
Is he listening to the crew and adopting their accent?
I don't know.
Anyway,
But
no merge.
You kind of took a dislike because of that or something.
Yeah, I thought that
with
was
the way
really
he
weird.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, first I was looking for who that person was, and then we dawned on us finally that it's him.
Well, I think he could be nice and he could be fun and outgoing, but
He's got, I forget what he said, a horticulture or agriculture degree or background. So he says he'll know what's
food they
edible,
can
what's
eat.
not.
Yeah.
And that could be huge. So we could
Yeah,
completely
it
have
could
him
be.
wrong.
Totally.
There's some potential for this to be like a superstar tribe. They, maybe, I'm not sure who ends up doing the puzzles. Maybe it's Jamie and Kane, or maybe Matthew's good at puzzles,
Yeah.
as it turns out.
You can
or
stop where
Maddie
we
is.
don't know
Yeah, but
till it starts. And unless they said they did well with puzzles. But,
all right.
no.
So that's that tribe.
Okay, on to Soka tribe, the
Green.
Green tribe. Claire is 25 years old. She's born in Illinois, but also living in Brooklyn.
And she talks like she's a Valley girl.
She's a tech investor. She said she's been a fan.
She described it as venture capitalist, which are also known as vulture capitalist. Sorry, described herself as a fan.
Oh, I wrote something that is stupid, so it can't possibly be. And I don't know where I was going with that.
Okay.
So she says she's energetic, motivated, and cunning. She's eager to look for advantages. I feel like I've been playing a social, strategic game of Survivor my whole life just to fit in and succeed and reach my goals. She's 5'2" and always the odd person out. For an alliance, she values loyalty over everything. I'd also love someone who appears to be a bigger threat so I can use them as a shield/puppet without them realizing. These people won't see me coming till my knife is in their back. And I made a note, she wants to receive loyalty, just not give it. I'm also incredibly tiny and don't see myself being super useful in challenges. Well, hello. Compares herself with Courtney Yates. She said she's got the sass, honesty, and ability to get by doing the bare minimum. And that annoyed me.
Yeah.
It just annoyed me. That's all there is to it. I don't respect that. You know, when someone just tries to get by doing the bare minimum, and that's just not how I was raised. So, okay, she annoyed me a bit. I wrote, she talks like she's a diva, but I suspect there's more to her than that. But others may see her that way too, so I'm going to say no merge. Though I think she could make it if she's any good at the challenges, but I still said no merge.
I got her making the merge.
Ooh.
Okay. The whole deal where she talked about always being the odd one out because of all the differences that she had growing up and how she's easy to underestimate.
Yeah.
I mean, I got this negative vibe off the whole venture capitalist thing, and I thought, really, you're VC at 25, huh? And she didn't talk about starting companies or anything like that, so I immediately thought, your success may be based on your family.
Yeah.
You know, that you may attribute way more.
Which is your assumption.
Yeah, to your success.
That's what we're doing, is
success,
judging by the cover.
Yeah, then you actually provided and demonstrate merit for. Anyway, that's just my initial read. Well, but I thought she would make it.
You couldn't remember her, though. You'd already kind of discounted every time I said Claire. You're like, oh.
The last one that I got her name down.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, moving on. Danny, or as he calls himself, Danny Bronx. He's 32, and he's a New York firefighter. He said, I'm kind, passionate, and determined. His hobbies are Brazilian jiu-jitsu, running with his dog, breath work, and meditation. I kind of liked all that about him. His pet peeves are bullies and whining. Growing up, I was very insecure about my body, my voice, and speech. The show terrifies him, but he's drawn to things that terrify him.
I like that.
It excites him.
You should be terrified of Survivor.
Yeah. He said his niece actually applied for him.
Filled out his application, yeah.
Yes, she filled it out and sent it in. And he said he was going to try not to be perceived as a bro-ish frat boy jerk. But
that's good self-awareness that he said he knows he can come across that way.
But he thinks that they'll see the goodness in him, the good dude, he said. So, and he's very eager to look for advantages and idols. I really didn't like him much at first because I just kind of saw that.
Yeah, you were heavy against him when we were talking about it.
I don't need to deal with no bro jerk. You know, just my initial reaction to him saying that. But then when I really read his interview and I looked at different, I could really see his softer side, his more kind, and through the interview and all that, I thought, oh no, actually I kind of really like him now. And I think he could go deep with the right alliance. Mm-hmm. So I have him making the merge and Final Four.
Oh, okay.
Just because I liked him now.
He's a firefighter. He practices jiu-jitsu. He said he's ran a 34-mile ultra marathon. Wow. So he knows the struggle. He
knows the pain.
He knows how to persevere through things like that. And he's got a degree of self-awareness that, based on my first impression, I didn't expect to be there. So, yeah, I got him making the merge, too. I'm also got him going deep.
Yeah, the more I delved into his bio and his interviews, I liked him more and more and more. So.
Who knows? He may go full bro jerk, as he described.
Yeah, and if it does, then I won't like him again. But
yeah, my read on him was positive at this stage.
Yeah, me too, which surprised me. Okay, Franny, 23, she was born in Minnesota and is now living in Cambridge, Massachusetts. She's a research coordinator. She says she's curious, calculating, and zesty. She loves to be called zesty and has deemed herself such.
Yeah, to me, she's frantic. Frantic Franny.
Yeah. In an alliance partner, she wants someone who is interested in talking through every possible outcome. I never want to move forward with a plan before considering alternatives. I work at a center for mindfulness and compassion, and I have a daily practice in yoga and mindful meditation. I have two superpowers in this game: enthusiasm and adaptability. I'm always learning and shifting based on my surroundings, and I'll weather any storm with a smile. So, at first, when we were listening to some of the videos, we dubbed her Frantic Franny, but, because I thought, okay, she's going to have a frantic energy, she's going to annoy people. But as I started to read her bio, I liked her more as well, and I changed my mind, so I hope she goes far.
She talked about, I think it was in the parade interview, that she actually spent a significant time working in a Vietnamese nail salon and dealing with all the personalities and all the drama associated with that, and figuring out, how to deal with different situations that came up. So I thought, I
thought she'd be perfect for that.
Some good skills to have if you can navigate those waters, those troubled waters,
and look at it as an adventure and a learning experience. And
flip side of that, there's another video on the Paramount Press Express site where you can watch the first few minutes of the first episode, and the first thing that she does is insult everyone in her tribe. She says she's taking in everybody's bad breath.
No, she said we can already just smell each other's bad breath, or something like that.
Yeah, so her judgment in the moment is not where it should be.
They laughed.
Yeah. I think Matt was checking to try to see if he had bad breath.
I don't think that's unusual when Jeff puts you on the spot, and I would say stupid things because you get nervous.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to hold that against her. I actually have her making the merge. I
don't.
Think,
no merge for Frantic Franny.
I have her making the merge because she's a big woman, and I think she could be very beneficial in challenges. She looks very physically fit, and she's tall.
Yeah, could be.
She's taller than Danny, and probably at least or maybe taller than Josh.
Possibly, yeah.
She's the tallest, biggest woman for sure on the tribe, I think.
Seems to be the case, yeah.
And I just thought she'd be good, with the physicality.
You can see in some of the press photos she's definitely getting into the muck. So we'll soon find out if that is the case. But I thought that franticness, and I saw it again and again, especially in the video components where she was talking. I thought, man, I just would not want to have to deal with that for any length of time.
If she can't control that, then yes, I agree. She could go. She could annoy people. That's the flip side. But I'm hoping that she's self-aware enough not to do that.
We shall see.
Yes, we shall.
Next up, we got Heidi. She's 43, originally from Puerto Rico, now living in Pittsburgh, and she's an engineering manager.
She said, I'm energetic, adventurous, and loud. She's done many marathons. Her hobbies are CrossFit and playing board games, which might help with puzzles. And an alliance partner, she wants a strategic collaboration and encouragement for each other to be able to get them through the tough times. She said, I would love to win and be a role model for others, and the money would be life-changing. She plans to be energetic, work hard at camp and challenges, as she knows she's older. She's that self-aware. She's like, I'm the oldest, I gotta do more, kind of thing. I want an alliance partner that compliments me too. I'm short, they're tall. I'm older, they're younger. She said, and I hope we become friends too. And I thought, well, Franny fits that to a T.
Okay.
And so I like how she presented herself, and I really hope she makes the merge. But I just, as the oldest person out there and a smaller person, I just thought she may not be given the chance to prove herself. Though I could see her going and getting in there and going deep too if people trust her. But I put no merge because I had to choose 7 no merges, you said. So I put no merge.
Yeah, I struggled with her too, because when she said she wants to align with someone young and tall, I thought Heidi, meet Matt. That's another option. You thought Franny, I thought Matt.
Yeah.
And I liked what she said, and it was kind of obvious that she identified with Sandra because of Sandra's Puerto Rican heritage and her success, winning 2 times.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and she added a zinger on the end of it, which I really liked. And she said, but I want to compete in challenges.
Yeah.
I thought, ooh, zing, I like this. This is good. And then right after that, she referenced Angelina from David versus Goliath and described her as a great negotiator. I thought, wow, your judgment is not
Yeah, but a lot of people
good.
said that about Angelina.
Well, they referenced Angelina and Shan.
Over and over.
And I thought, whoa, you folks are bent. You're not quite right.
Oh, hell, but they're entitled.
And when Heidi was talking and I was watching how her mouth moved, I was getting a bit of a Rosie Perez vibe. So I thought, whoa, I wonder what that could mean. I don't know if that's going to harm her or hurt her, but I think she'll make the merge. I don't know what
you mean by that. So, but I liked your reference to her and Matt. Once I looked, I thought, oh yeah, I bet she would fit much better with Matt.
I went to Matt because I had
Franny.
discounted Franny. Yeah. I don't think she's going to like the erratic energy from Franny, because Heidi's really proud of her patents, and she comes from a discipline of being methodical. I mean, she's managing people now, but prior to that, because she said she has like 40 patents, she was really proud of her patents. But I know a little bit about that world, and I know that companies love for employees to create patents so they can put them in a war chest, and then they can go off and sue people and make money that way. So it's not all it's cracked up to be. Maybe hers are all legitimate, fantastic, great ideas, but there's plenty of patent mills in technology and engineering companies for not so good reasons. Anyway, I don't see her jiving that much with Franny, but with Matt and the whole the space that he's in.
So you have her making the merge?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I struggled with that a lot, though.
Yeah, because I really want to cheer for her. And so I just thought she is a good bit older than anyone on the tribe. So, and she's not old. She's only 43.
Right. But this cast skews young. There's no one in their 50s, and the oldest is 46.
Yes. So, okay, moving on to Josh. He's 34, born in Ohio, now living in Atlanta.
ATL.
Yeah. Surgical podiatrist. This guy just really puzzles me. Ow. Anyway, I'll read what
Yeah.
He said, I'm adventurous, charismatic, and ambitious. He survived a kidney transplant at the age of 9 and survived stomach removal from cancer at 25. He had to learn how to eat, and the stomach cancer was caused from the medicines he has to take for the transplant.
He has to take lifelong immunosuppressant medication.
Yes.
That gave him cancer, so he ended up losing his stomach.
Yeah.
I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole. I didn't know much about total gastrectomies. And when you read about that and the impact it has on them and the recommendations around it, my summary at the end of reading on some of this stuff was, why are you out here?
Yeah. I'm scared to death for him already.
Yes.
And he looks the picture of health.
Yeah, he's jacked. Yeah, he's got lots of muscle.
I mean, everything about him, he looks...
On paper, in his backstory and all that, you would think he is most likely to go out on a medical. Yeah. Then you physically see him, and
I don't see
visibly that is not the case. You think this is one healthy together individual who's disciplined.
Well, he says, I want to be a part of Survivor to prove myself and any other little gay black boy or girl that you can do anything you put your mind to. That's why he says he's playing. He said, I will value an alliance partner's complete honesty and trustworthiness.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. We'll do whatever I need to do for the win.
Yes, I don't have to have these qualities,
Yeah.
but I certainly
Be
want my
nice if
alliance
they
partner
did
to have
for
them.
me, but
Yeah.
okay. That's human nature, I guess. He's very eager to look for the advantages, and he says he will not let his emotions get the better of him. And I couldn't get over that. I can't help but be concerned for his health out there and eating, and sure they have to give him his medicines,
Right.
But I just decided, okay, I guess he knows what he can do. I don't have to know, and if he stays healthy, I think he has a great shot at going deep in the game. I ended up putting him in my Final Four just because I like him.
I can see it. It's just a quandary.
I know.
These things don't add up at all. It really pivots for me on, like you were saying, does he have a handle on how to stay healthy?
But he's a doctor.
And okay. You would think so.
So
well,
you would think and he looks like he does.
Yes, he does. But that's when you've got easy access to food. Anything that you would want at any time. And when I was reading about gastrectomies, total gastrectomies, one of the recommendations was that they
eat frequently.
Yeah, eat every 2 to 3 hours. They need to be consuming something because they don't have a stomach to break things down. And so it depends on chewing your food really good and then frequent small quantities to keep you going. And this is not the environment for that. So why would
munch on coconut all day, I guess. But.
Why would he do that? Why would they let him go do it? I don't get it.
Well,
I don't get
obviously,
it at all. So it must have been
he passed
cleared,
the tests,
worked out. Then there's a plan, and it looks like it's going to work, I guess.
Well, it was giving me an upset tummy. I was like, but I'm worried about him.
Yeah, you're anxious. You become anxious for him.
And
I
so
did too.
I thought, I need to let this go. I need to trust him that he knows himself. Well, he's been through an awful lot, and he's come through with flying colors, and became a doctor in the midst of all this. And so I'm like, okay, I'm just going to trust. But I really like him. Yeah. And so I had a terrible time coming up with USB and Final Four. So I ended up with Final Four. I'm just going with people that I like.
That you want to cheer for?
Or that I want to cheer for.
That's a good strategy.
So, and wherever they end up is where they end up.
Yep.
So.
I got him making the merge too. Next up, we got Matt, 27, from San Francisco. They list him as a security software engineer, but he says cybersecurity engineer. So there's a potential difference. He didn't sound like a coder to me. And when he described his job, it's the job that I'm in that industry too. We call that a penetration tester. It's someone who acts like a bad guy and to help test the defenses. Why are you pointing at me?
Because you've done that.
Yeah, mine's different. I'm not a penetration tester though. But I work with the similar techniques in malware and stuff like that. So I'm aware of when he was describing what he did, I understood that and went, oh, okay. We could have a discussion for sure.
Yeah, most people are like me. They wouldn't really know the difference.
Yeah, sure.
So I just tell people, yeah, he works internet security and on computers. I don't
There
know.
you go. Good enough. What did you have on Matt?
I'm joyful, empathetic, and persistent. 10 years ago, I told people I was made for this game, but then I chickened out. I'm here to play out this unfinished business. For an alliance partner, I want someone I genuinely connect with, who I can frankly and openly discuss ways to mutually benefit our game. That bodes well for him and Heidi, so woohoo. Okay. His hobbies are taiko, music, running. He ran a marathon. He said to help him win, He's got a goofy grin and a strategic brain.
I like that.
With an ultra-competitive hot streak.
He said that was his 1-2 punch. Goofy grin, but strategic brain.
Yep. Yeah. He's watched the show since high school. He admires Yule and relates to Eric Reichenbach, but hopes not to make those mistakes. I'm excited just to test myself in this new era of Survivor. My ideal alliance member is someone whom I can chat about with all the different options. I really liked Matt, but I'm concerned that he may have a hard time with lack of confidence in his actions and his decisions.
Yeah, he said he wrestles with anxiety.
Yeah.
But what I liked about him, too, was that he had demonstrated resilience in his pursuit of his career and just different aspects of his life. And he talked about striving for joy. So I like those elements.
But
those
I think he's still striving.
Yeah, sure. Well, most of us are.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But,
Well, I mean,
the anxiety could get a hold of him and wreck him.
Yeah.
But he's got other tools, and he's challenged himself, and he's failed, and he's challenged himself, and he's succeeded. So I think there's potential there. I got him making the merge.
Oh, definitely. I have him making the merge, and I think he'll do well in the challenges. He's, even though he's not a real big guy, he's very tall and fit. But I'm just a little, I didn't put him any further because I was concerned about him and his lack of confidence in making a decision and implementing it fast enough.
Yeah.
But if he's got somebody that can do that as his partner and say, yep, we got to go with this, we got to act now.
Certainly had something in common with Franny. She was talking about how she wanted to think about all the angles, and Matt was saying that too.
Yeah.
So who knows? Matt could strike some balance there.
Okay, that tribe is wrapped up.
Okay, next up we got Tika.
They're the purple tribe.
Just struck me visibly as the physically weakest tribe. Like they got dealt an unfair hand.
It kind of looks that way.
First up, we got Bruce. He's 46 from Rhode Island and an insurance agent.
He has a wife and 2 kids, and he said he's energetic, funny, and competitive. He said, challenges are challenges, food rewards, who cares? Just talking to people and seeing what makes them tick. That's exciting to me. I'd like an alliance partner who views Survivor as the game it is, and who will let me know if my name comes up. I may be viewed as arrogant.
Interesting.
Like, I kind of viewed you that way from your bio, so I thought it was interesting that he actually said he thought that's how he would be viewed. His hobbies...
That suggests he's had some experience with that, right?
Yes, it does. His hobbies are golf and boxing, so he's got some physicality, though we don't know when he did that.
Right.
He will avoid the advantages. That's not going to be something he's going to pursue right away. So I said he seems to be coming in with a lot of confidence in his ability to win, and yet he's the oldest person playing the game this season. And I don't think they're going to see him. I think they're going to think he's a little arrogant too. And I think he's right. They're going to see him as arrogant. And I thought he'd make the merge because he's a big guy and he would do well in the challenges. But I'm not sure that he's going to. And I ended up going no merge.
Yes. Well, we've talked a lot about Bruce. And
a lot.
He in his bio and in his interview talked about being abandoned as a child and growing up in foster care, which he was in that from 2 to 7, and then he got adopted, and then that family that adopted him fostered a lot of kids too.
Yeah, they adopted 8.
So you get a sense that that's a big part of his identity because he chose to share all that. That's interesting. He referenced Jeremy, which he looks like a fit, athletic guy, and you get that. That's a classic meat shield kind of look at things. And then he also said he identified with Coach, and I was like, why? I thought, well, maybe then maybe you're more like Roxroy. Maybe we've got another Roxroy on our hand, because we know that they tend to cast pairs, groups of similar archetypes and time very close together. So there could be something going on there. The other thing I picked up with him, there's two more things to mention, is that he was sweating profusely in those video interviews. He was sweating through his shirt, like the ones on Paramount Press Express, and his head was soaked. It almost looked like he had poured water on himself to cool himself off. And that could have just been the time of day and how long he had to wait outside before he got his turn to do the interview. It could be a number of things, but it didn't look like he was taking the environment well. But the second one, the big one, is there's some kind of medical event, because, you know, they showed Probst calling medical in the preview at the end of last season we saw for this season. And it appears
we think it could
it's
be
the
him,
Tika tribe, and we think it's possibly him.
but we don't know anything.
And so that's colored my perception of him completely.
Yeah, it does.
And there's that, and then in that challenge, which might be like the first one, and then there's another sequence where they cut to him. You know, it's those jump cuts that they do. They're showing the castaways, and then they cut, and a bunch of things. Well, they also show him just before they cut to the IV hanging in the tree there in the jungle.
Which might mean something or not.
Or
'cause
not.
We've been fooled by that a million times.
Sure.
So,
and
I
then
know.
on the whole, and it could be, my perception could be totally colored by all these things, he just seems like a bit of a nothing burger after, you know,
Okay.
his bio and the interviews.
There wasn't much of it. He didn't have much to say.
No, that's why I said it just came across as a bit of a nothing
like,
burger.
that's
and
it?
he should be the physical, the foundation of this tribe. But
Yeah, and he gave very short answers.
yeah, it was just kind of bland. I got him no merge. So
Wow, we both went no merge.
well, that's, and given how we were,
When he should be, like you said, I thought, no, he should be the main
should be a
physical
lock
challenge person.
to make the merge, because he
He's
helps
big guy.
carry him through.
But
Yeah.
I think Carolyn's tall, and she's a tall woman and looks very strong.
Her and Sarah do seem like they're
they
tall.
both are,
Yeah.
so. But we'll get to them.
Yeah.
Okay.
No merge for Bruce.
Bruce for both of us.
And that should not be the case, but I'm just adding these other things up and going, Next up, we got Carolyn, 35, Minnesota, drug counselor. Sometimes when she talks, she sounds like Cher.
She does.
Yeah. And she's got this weird
Okay.
thing she does with her voice.
So she made it clear that she feels confident in who she is, her goofiness, spontaneity, sensitivity, and everything about her, and that she will not hide any part of herself out there. She will be authentic. She said, I want to share my story, as addiction and recovery looks different for everybody. And she said, my alliances will go deeper than strategy because my bonds will be real. I will win because of my authentic connections. I think people are going to perceive me as a little bit goofy, spontaneous, and free-spirited. I'm aware that I'm loud and goofy and weird, but still, I think I have a chance. She wants at least a few honest people she can trust and share with. Okay, I kind of liked her so much more after. At first, I totally discounted. I thought, oh, she's going to be loud and she's going to talk too much and people aren't going to like it, or blah, 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 blah. She's going to overshare or whatever. But after reading interviews, you know, I kind of changed a little bit on her as far as still don't think she can win the game. Since she's so emotional. She's very emotional. She says she cries all the time.
She referenced Gabby.
Yeah.
David versus Goliath. She's like, oh, yeah, I've already been crying. And the game hadn't started yet.
I think she could be really good at challenges, and that could help her make the merge. But I'm still going to say no merge because I had to pick somebody. And but I hope she does make it. I would kind of like to Unless she becomes annoying, and then
I would not want to be on a tribe with her because she's so intent on being authentic. She doesn't care how that hits anyone else.
Well,
she doesn't care the impact that she has on others. She wants to be an example, but she really wants to be authentic.
And I think she wants the attention and to get her story out there.
Yeah, no one that behaves like that doesn't want attention.
Yeah, more important for her to get her story out. And I think the biggest reason I went with the no merge is I think she wants relationships that might not even be available in the game. Mm-hmm. And that's a little unrealistic to... but I think she will come out of it with some friends.
She seems like she's the female version of Cody a little bit, but she's way more over the top than him. And I like that she self-identified with Nora from season 39, Island of the Idols. That was another person who marched to the beat of their own drum.
Yep.
But she wasn't necessarily... I don't get that she's as shrewd as Nora from that perspective.
Well, and sometimes when that's the image they want to project, they can't let go of it either. They can't let go of the persona.
Yeah, there's definitely a character aspect to her for sure.
So I just...
One of her pet peeves were when people ask her if she's sick when she's not wearing makeup. I like she talked about how much she enjoyed atomic fireballs. I, too, am a connoisseur of atomic fireballs and enjoyed them. Not to the extent of her. She said she'd, busted...
You found something you have in common with Carol. With
the wackadoodle, she said she busted 3 of her teeth or 3 of her crowns on candy.
Yeah.
That was... And... Again, there's a possible mom on vacation vibe going on here. If you don't care how you're going to be perceived by others, I'm not sure how intent you are on being out here, really being serious about winning. If you can't manage yourself so that you can form these alliances.
Because you can overshare.
Well, you can overshare, you can talk too loud, you can talk too much.
Yeah.
And...
I see her doing all of those.
They all saw Marianne. They thought, oh, yeah, you can totally do this and be fine. But you've got to be on a tribe that can carry you that far. And there's no Jonathan in here. I don't see anyone in this season breaking records and challenges the way Jonathan did. And Bruce is not that. He is not going to be that. And certainly it's not Jam Jam either. So, yeah. And I don't know that any of them...
Well, I kept thinking, Carolyn's a counselor. She's got to have a softer side. She has to be able to listen. You can't be a counselor and not listen.
Well, you could. You just wouldn't be a good one.
Yeah.
No, you're right. She must have some skills.
Yeah, so I think there's another side to it.
Well, you look at what she's been through, and what is she, 13 years sober or something like that?
Yeah.
And there's a struggle, and she's come out the other side. There's resilience there. There's
awesome, admirable.
There's attributes that say that she could persevere for sure. But her unwillingness to compromise her authentic self again, keep circling back to that. And yes, I'm going to be loud and blustery, and yet I'm going to run around and touch rocks and rub sand on myself and cry.
But we didn't see that in the video clips. She wasn't that way that they showed in the ones they showed us. We only saw her be that way on individual interviews.
Yeah, once the game had started.
But she wasn't that way,
We'll see. Yeah. No merge. Moving on. We got Carson. He's 20, originally from Rome, Georgia, now in the ATL, living in Atlanta. He goes to Georgia Tech.
From Stacy's neck of the woods.
Yeah, for sure. What do you got on Carson?
He's multifaceted, exuberant, and innovative. He obsessively studied the evolution of game theory within Survivor and cannot wait to test himself.
Red flag.
He identifies most with Christian Hubicki, who embraced
from David versus
quirks.
Goliath.
Yeah, I know who he is. who embraced his quirks and nerdiness to disarm his opponents. He said he 3D prints and designs survivor puzzles for fun.
He's got shelves of them, he said, that he's used for practice before coming out.
Certainly, I'd be putting him on the puzzles.
Yeah.
He doesn't plan to reveal his engineering background. He's watched for 6 years and now is he calls it an uber super duper fan. I think people will perceive me as someone who's really friendly and nice and just here for the experience. He said he was not going to look for advantages early on. He said he may even cause a little chaos in the game. I like him and I want to see him do well. I want to cheer for the Georgia boy, especially since he's from your neck of the woods.
Mm-hmm.
I think he'll be valuable if he can do the puzzles.
Yeah, if he delivers.
He's not very big guy.
5'5", he says.
Yeah. Part of me wants to discount him because of his age and lack of experience right off the bat. But I think he could go deep if he plays well. I don't know if he will, but I think his tribe will be the weakest too, as we've mentioned. I have him making the merge and even my final four, just because I kind of wanted him to... somebody to go along with the person on this tribe that I chose as my USB.
I see.
And, but I don't know, I might change that before. I want to see what other people have to say too, but I want to cheer for him. I want him to do well. But again, I think he could be like Cochran was his first season out and overplay.
Flame out.
Yeah, because he's trying so hard.
Yeah.
Got to make an impression, got to prove
It's not the age, it's the experience.
Experience,
those things can have a strong correlation that's causal.
Absolutely. That's what I mean by that.
Yeah. And he doesn't seem to have a whole lot of it, so
he's had
I'm not expecting much
experience at NASA, leading some teams and things like that, which I think is very valuable.
It's funny. I remember thinking about that. He's AE, he's aeronautical engineering. I remember when I was there, I started off doubly and went CS, and I was thinking, why is anyone going AE? That just seems like such a dead major. And of course, you know, all the space race stuff is kicking back off now, and you totally get it. But for a while there, that was a bit of a dud of a major. But yeah, he's in a hot spot now.
Well, as I look at the roster and you see all the people on that tribe, I think he could be a good leader. But nobody's on that tribe's going to listen to him.
Oh, no. He's just, stature's wrong. He's looking goofy. He's self-described nerd. So
yeah.
It's just not gonna.
And the youngest.
Not gonna happen, I don't think. His best play is under the radar and to kill the puzzles.
That's what I'm hoping will happen, is that he can get in with the person that I'm leaning toward for USB and maybe be a support person for that.
I expect this tribe to completely struggle on the physical side of challenges. And then if he can be, because the puzzles, you know, in those first few challenges are such an equalizer, he could be critical to them not spending all their time at tribal council. Because this, on the flip side, this tribe could end up being one of the first ones in the latest iteration of Survivor that got completely eliminated. That wouldn't necessarily surprise me either.
Well, I don't agree with you, so shut up.
I got him making the merge too. Next up, we got Helen. She's 29, originally from Massachusetts, now in San Francisco. She's a product manager.
She says she's empathetic, optimistic, and self-aware. I have learned to adapt to the different types of communities I grew up in that could help me in the game. I want a partner who will be loyal to her only. She'll take them out first, but she wants them to be loyal only to her. She loves doing puzzles. Yay!
Ding.
I think I'll be underestimated and can pull strings without getting caught till it's too late. Survivor is the ultimate game to challenge and prove yourself. I think people will perceive me as really friendly and bubbly. I hope they see me as less strategic or intelligent. I think she could do well if she can perform in the challenges. That's the big thing because she's the smallest person on the tribe, but I think she's also going to be a hard worker.
I like the part where she's talking about how she had those chameleon skill. Well, I call it chameleon. She called it a context switcher.
Yeah.
Basically, you adapt to the group that you're with, and you do your best to blend in. You know, if you're not interested in being a standout, that's just kind of like a survival skill that you can develop. And so that, I think, could be a positive for her. She identified with Erica. No surprise there. But here's the thing. Everybody's fresh off Erica's win.
Yeah.
And when you look at this cast and you see Helen, and my immediate thought is, okay, well, I certainly don't want another Erica. Here's another product manager that's small in stature. Let's get rid of this.
Obviously intelligent.
Yeah.
So, and good in her personal skills, with interpersonal skills.
Okay.
Yeah.
Time for Helen to go.
Well, that's why I didn't put her in my final four, but I kind of wanted to.
It'll be easy on some degree, right, just because of her small stature, when you got the two bigger women, Sarah and Carolyn.
Yeah. Well, I thought if she does well in challenges, and I went with Merge, but if she doesn't do well in challenges, I think she'll be an early boot, maybe.
Yeah, for me, Tika's my three people would know Merge, and so she's number 2. Anything else you want to say?
Her and Bruce.
So far?
Nope, that's pretty much it. I've got her making the Merge. We'll see.
Oh, no, I had Bruce, Carolyn, and Helen. She's my third. I had that wrong.
Oh, okay.
Next up, we got Sarah. She's 27, originally from Minnesota, now in Chicago. She's a management consultant.
And she says she's a super fan. Her family watched Survivor from the beginning. She said she's strategic, driven, and fun. This is her lifelong dream. As an alliance partner, I value someone logical with a strategic mind. Duos can be powerful. Her hobbies are doing anything outdoors. I majored in finance and economics and graduated summa cum laude with a 3.98 GPA, so she's intelligent. I will be the sole survivor because I know the game inside and out. I understand people and I am very observant. I will look for idols and advantages. I'm 100% willing to get my hands dirty and do what I have to do. I want to get to know every person to have a clue how they're playing the game. I really liked what she had to say in her interview, and I think she could go deep in the game, and she is right now on the top of the list for my USB.
Again, another one that's in that sweet spot for where the winners come from. She appears like she could play that classic under the radar game and sneak in there and win it at the end.
That's what I thought. She's very tall and she's pretty.
Fit, yeah.
Yeah, fit.
But she's not about being her authentic self all the time. And as long as she's not someone who goes around and talks about her GPA, then I think she's got...
Oh, I don't think
there's the opportunity that she'll be viewed as amicable and someone that you want in an alliance. And I think she has a chance to deliver from a physical perspective, and then I'll also have an understanding of how to navigate the alliances and the social aspect of the game. So I got her as Merge. And anything else you want to say? I'm just getting excited to talk about Jam Jam.
Just that I kind of wanted to, the first Bruce and Carolyn, and I kind of wanted to see the other four bond together.
Wait, who's your...
Carson, Helen, Sarah, and Jam Jam.
Yeah, could be.
Now, Jeff says Yam Yam, but...
Initially, right? Then he...
Yeah, then he said Jam. But it's pronounced Jam Jam, which is going to be very difficult for me because we already got into the Yam Yam.
Yeah.
And that's easier to say than Jam Jam. So I would rather call him Jamil. But okay, fine. He's 36 from Puerto Rico. He's
the first current owner. Resident to play.
First, yes, absolutely. He said he's fun, loud, and caring. I've watched all season since I was 13 and want to prove that I have the physical and mental strength to win the title and money. I hope to emulate Cerie's gameplay to win.
Awesome Cerie reference.
but Sari hasn't won. So I need to play with intelligent people that want to go far with me. And I love strategy, manipulation, social aspects of life, meeting people, and using that as an advantage, and using people for you or using other people against you.
That's where it went weird.
Yeah, because he said, so I think Survivor encompasses a lot of what I like to do in my daily life.
That sounds like he's the guy in the salon that's talking about you behind your back.
Yeah, so anyway, that kind of threw me a little bit. He said he's going to look everywhere for any advantages and idols. And I ended up being, even though I thought, oh, he could be fun, blah, 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 or he could be annoying. But I do think he'll entertain either way. So I said merge, but I'm a little unsure about him now.
Yeah,
but you're so excited about him.
Just because he's fun, and it would be fun to cheer for Jam Jam because he's got the fun energy like that. And I was completely sold on him, and you can tell they liked him too. He's got the title of the first episode that he can't wait to see Jeff Probst, and just the crazy, silly things that he says, and his overall energy. But then you get to that one point. What was that that was in the parade interview where he talked about learning people's details so he could use it to manipulate them. I thought, wow, that went real dark. Really, really dark.
But you would say that if you were in a game like that, you would want. But he was saying more in real life.
Yeah, he was talking about it in real life. Yeah, I don't know.
That's what I mean. He was talking about real life. You would do it in the game.
Well, I would do it to someone that was doing that to others. Like if I were playing with Shan, I would go there. I would just go right down the mutually assured destruction route with someone that I caught doing that kind of stuff. But I wouldn't necessarily do that to someone who didn't have the tools to defend themselves.
Well, no, I'm not talking about that.
It's a cheap dark side trick to do. It's like what Ellie and what's the other lady? The therapist that were willing to use their skills to manipulate people. It seems like it's in that area. Anyway, that just seemed like a real dark turn all of a sudden, and it gave me pause.
That's what
I didn't expect that from happy, super excited Jam that I wanted to watch somebody who was excited about pooping in the ocean.
Yeah, exactly.
And who's going to be there to hold your hair back while you throw up?
I think it reminded you of Shan because you felt like she used her position in life as a way to manipulate people.
Yeah, well, and she talked about how she manipulated her congregation in the church that she was in.
Exactly.
And then you got to see how she treated people in the game, and
so you're more sensitive to that after that season.
Anyway, I'm still in the happy column with Jam Jam, and I'm excited and want to see someone who's got that kind of giddy energy, which doesn't bug me the same way that Carolyn's does, because Carolyn's is like all over the place, up and down and scatter.
She gets a high-pitched voice too, and that drives you crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's why her excited drives you more crazy than Jam Jam.
Right now, with the tiny, minuscule amount of exposure that we've had, which is why we call it Judge a Book by Cover. Okay, so I got him making the merge.
Yep, me too.
All right, there we are. Anything else you want to say about the tribes?
I think we covered it.
Yeah, I was pretty sure Tika was going to be just the losers. That's why I got 3 of them going. But then you got Carson and Helen. If they come through on the puzzles, and the puzzles can be such an equalizer, you've got these huge physical elements with Brandon and Kane. Maybe Matthew can contribute, and Lauren in the Orange Tribe and Ratu. So, and then if you get some good puzzle solvers there, maybe Jamie's good, maybe Maddie's good, and can do that. So they can take advantage of the huge physical lead, and then Tika never has a chance.
Yeah. Well, we're usually wrong with that anyway, so.
I didn't get any of my Final Four right last season, which means I didn't have the winner right either. So, yeah, but this is fun. For us, the main objective is to get to know the players so that we don't spend half the season wondering who's who.
Yep.
Now, one of the great things about the diversity casting that they do is that there's so many differences that you don't get. Hey, which blonde girl is that of the three that they cast that was cast to look so good in a bikini? We don't have that as a problem anymore.
There's only one blonde girl, so.
Yeah, and we'll see how long that lasts before that grows out. Okay, so let's do Final Four. Who do you got for Final Four?
Right now, I have Sarah, Carson, Danny, and Josh. And Sarah for my USB 24.
Okay. Now, so my Final Four, I have Jamie, Danny. I know you're looking at the roster to see where Jamie is.
No, I know who Jamie is.
Okay, Danny, Matt, and Sarah. Yes.
Oh, you like my girl Sarah too?
Sure. I was kind of going back between Sarah and Matt for the win. I could still see Sarah getting there.
Matt, really?
Yeah.
You think he's the potentials, huh?
The potential's there. That he could have that resilience could pay off, and he could end up there at the end. That's a long shot. More than likely, the anxiety's going to get the best of him, and he'll shoot himself in the foot. Yeah, but that's what I came up with. Like we said, we both struggled a lot.
We struggled terribly.
There's some seasons where we're just like, oh yeah, these are the ones.
This one, that one. It's between these three. I can decide between these three, and
this was a last minute.
I haven't found a USB yet. Have you?
Yeah. So I got Matt for the win right now, but that's probably work bias. I mean, we share the same field. And so I knew exactly what he was talking about when he described the job that he did, and that probably caused that.
Okay. We've talked a lot. Is there anything else you want to say?
I'm not going to go into detail. We decided we didn't want to overshare too much, but when you watch the season 44 preview, you can see at about the 1 minute 50-second mark, there's a bird cage hanging in what appears to be maybe in camp. And then there's a bag hanging in that cage. So there's this idle cage twist. There's something new coming. And you said, let's not say anything more, right?
Well, if you're going to say anything more, give a warning for those people who don't want to know.
Well, let's just leave it at that.
It's out there.
So there's going to be, just like how the Beware Advantage caused a lot of difficulty in how to make the decision what to do and all that. This one's going to be another interesting twist on that, the idle cage twist.
Yeah, I just thought it would be more fun to see it when it happens. And but
I suspect it'll get revealed in the first 2-hour episode.
Oh, yeah. It will, I'm sure. But there's no doubt about that. But I just kind of wasn't sure I wanted to be the one to... I mean, because now you can go look it up if you want to know all the details. So.
Yeah, information about it came out even back before season 43 aired. People were talking about it. So if it's right, assuming it's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's wrap this up. A big thanks to Paul for the roster. Like we said, we've been using it. I'll make sure to include it in the show notes for this episode. And the website logo for JSFL that he put together. Awesome job as always, Paul. Thank you.
And big thanks to Steve for creating and maintaining the JSFL website. He will be setting it up real soon.
I owe him some images, all the pictures of everyone in different sizes.
We've got to get some things to him, and then he can set it up.
We'll talk more about JSFL next week when we do JABBIC too.
Hopefully it'll be up in the next few days. So. As soon as we can get to that, once we finish.
Yeah. Also want to recognize Jeremiah for maintaining the Survivor Fans podcast page there on Facebook. Thank you, Jeremiah, for being the shepherd. JABBIC Part 2. This is where we hand the reins over to you to get your first impressions of the new Castaways for Season 44 is due by noon on Saturday, February 25th. And we ask everybody to keep it in that 3-minute range so we can fit everyone in. The voicemail number 206-350-1547, toll free 844-643-8737. The email address is joanneandstacyshow@gmail.com. You can write it up and your observations and thoughts about this cast, and we'll read it in on your behalf, or you can record your own audio and send that to us. Again, try to keep it in that 3-minute range so we can fit everyone in. What do you got?
I am really looking forward to hearing what
Their
you
takes.
guys think,
Yeah.
because we struggled with
Yes,
this
we
so
did.
much, and everybody has a different perspective based on who they are and how they think and their life experience, and so I am very anxious to hear what the other people have to say. So
Yes.
I will anxiously await that information.
One thing we'll do too in next week in the JABBIC Part 2 is we'll share this song that Cold Mike put together for us based on the side challenge that we do in the JSFL. And we've already got to hear it, and I'm going to try to tweak it a little bit so you can hear him singing a little clearer. But it's good. I'm looking forward to sharing that with you. He did a great job. And if you want to be in on the side challenge where you too could end up having to sing a parody song based on the season's events
that you create.
Yeah, if you fail to score high enough in the side challenge, we need to know that you want to be in the side challenge. So you have to send us an email saying, yes, count me in for the side challenge.
Now, Drew has already said he wants to be in, but it wouldn't hurt if you confirmed that for me, Drew.
Yeah, that's
just in case you've
still
changed
where you
your
are.
mind.
Yeah, and again, the email, joanneandstacyshow@gmail.com for that. We'll be back next Saturday for JABBIC Part 2. We can't wait to hear what you think of this cast.
All right.
Have a good one.